Hi everyone, welcome in. This is Julie Max in the Maine Stamper. Welcome to your weekly card class from Maine. I'm so excited to be here. Happy first day of spring. It is March 20th and it is the first day of spring. And I have to say, in Maine, it has been one of the longest winters that I can recall. So spring is definitely a welcome season. And I know that it's still early in spring and we're going to have crazy weather for a while, but just knowing that spring is here, the days are getting longer, it's just amazing. So please say hi as you jump on. I want to make sure that I'm on the right page and my video and my audio are working. I believe everything is working well. So this is your weekly card class from Maine, and today is all about the bunny. So let me bring up pictures of the bunnies, and we are going to be creating 3 cards that are bunny heavy. So look how cute these little bunnies are. They're really, really cute cards. Now this is using the Easter Bunny bundle. And we're going to talk a little bit about the bundle. And of course, Easter Bunny is in the name of the stamp set and the punch. The punch is of course on back order for a little bit, but there's some workarounds here. And I want you to know that the Easter Bunny, the Easter part of the stamp set and the punch, is not the end of what you can do with the set, right? So don't get fixated on Easter. Actually, 2 of my cards are not Easter cards. They are bunny cards. So really this set is bunny heavy, not Easter heavy. It just happens to have Easter in it as well. So, hi Patty, hi Jess. Okay, it looks like we are a go. That is perfect. So I'm gonna get you over to my workspace because we have some things to talk about today. Let's get over. Here we go. Easter Bunny. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like spring is coming. It's awesome. So this is the stamp set that we're going to be using tonight. So again, you've got 3 really awesome bunny images. Of course, a carrot, because bunny has to have carrots. Now there are Easter eggs. There's a little birdie and a little butterfly. So these are very springy type things. But these bunnies don't have to be Easter bunnies. Again, they can be used for baby cards. They can be used for kid cards. They're really cute little bunnies, and I think you're gonna agree by the time we get done coloring some of these in. They're just so adorable. This is a photopolymer stamp set, so it is the clear, which is going to be really nice when we line up in our cards. We're going to be lining up this little butterfly on Bunny's nose here, so that's very helpful that we have photopolymer for that one. I'm going to be talking to you all about Stampin' Blends tonight and coloring, because we're going to color 2 of our bunnies together. This one right here, we are going to use the Bunny Builder Punch. Actually, it's not a builder punch, it's just an Easter Bunny punch. Now, this is found in your mini catalog on page 52. Easter Bunny bundle is on back order, and that's because the punch is out of stock until May 15th. So I want to draw attention to May 15th for this punch. That means that this bundle, because they're offering the bundle to come back, the bundle will be available in the new annual catalog, because the new annual catalog starts on May 4th, I believe. So if this is coming back on the 15th, it'll be in the new catalog, which is really exciting. Now, I'm breaking some rules tonight. I'm breaking rules that I normally have. So we're going to talk a little bit about my rule breaking and all kinds of good stuff today. But there are some cute samples here in the catalog as well. I wanted to just point out on the other page on 53, there's this Happy Labels bundle, and I'm actually going to be using, I use this punch in our 3rd card tonight. So I got a little tricky, right? Sometimes I mix and match some things up. So Easter Bunny bundle, if you wanted to get the stamp set now, you still can. You can get the stamp set. These are easy to fussy cut. And the reality is you don't even have to fussy cut them. Just put them in a cute little frame. We're going to be doing some of that tonight. You can get the punch at a later time if you want to create Easter Bunny cards. There's still time to get this in. Now, if you want to get my card kits, you're going to get 2 of each of these kits in the mail this week with your $35 order using my host code. And you're going to have everything you're going to need except for the stamps. And that's where I'm breaking my rule. So this one right here uses the bunny punch. And because this is out of stock right now, I'm actually going to be sending you card kits that are going to have punched bunnies in it. So you are going to get some bunny punches for this card. You're just going to need the stamps if you want to put bunnies in here. But if you have other things, if you have other little critters you can put in here, or flowers, or do something completely different, you don't have to use this stamp set. You'll still be able to create this card really easily. And then you can just mix and match some of your other products in for the other cards. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about the bunny punch real quickly and how it works. So the bunny punch is meant to punch out this bunny right here. And you're going to see that this bunny is facing this, he's going this way, right? He's facing to the right as you look down at him. So when you punch, so you stamp it, you punch, he's going this way, facing to the right. But my bunny right here, he's facing to the left. So you can see he's facing this way. Now there's a method to the madness, right? I use this paper, and this is actually celebration paper. It is that really fantastic, I think it was called Dainty Flowers. It's a very popular paper because I wanted a light purple, and there's not a lot of light purples right now that we can use, but I wanted a light purple for this card. So I pulled out some celebration paper, and I'm going to punch bunnies for you. You're going to get bunnies. But when you punch out the bunnies and you think you want this side up, you don't want to punch it this way. So if I punched it this way, my bunny's going to be facing the opposite direction. So if you want a bunny to be facing to the left, you actually have to punch it in this orientation right here, upside down on your paper. So think about that when you have your paper. This is one of those tricky ones. I want you to think about when you punch your bunny, which way he's facing and which side of the paper you have up, because there is a little trick to that. So let's look at this card kit. Oh, and let's talk about your freebie. So I am using the Opaque Adhesive-Backed Gems on each of these cards for today's class. And if your order is more than $50, I'm going to send you. Now yours, of course, is going to be a full pack, but I will be sending you these gems. We are using them on each of the cards tonight. So that's your freebie. And here's a quick look at your card kits. So we're going to go through these one at a time, of course. Let me set these aside and try to not lose things in my craft room. All right, we're going to set bunny aside. I'm going to do this white one, this white base card first. So in your card kit, as promised, you always have 2 of everything. And you're going to have 2 envelopes, 2 white card bases. I'm going to set those aside because I always score one, so I don't have to score a card base in front of you. It's just wasting time, right? Scoring the card bases. Now look at this. Foil bunnies. Aluminum foil, by the way. Bunnies in early espresso, and bunnies in that adorable purple polka dot pattern cardstock. So you're going to be getting punched bunnies just like this. And the reason we have all 3 of these to go together is I was trying to recreate the look of a chocolate foil wrapped bunny with some fancy paper. And he even has little bites out of him. Right here, you can see that he's not completely a whole bunny because he's had a couple of chomps taken out of him already. So this is my take. It's just kind of a really cute way to work with your little bunnies here. Make like a little chocolate, a chocolate foil bunny. And so I'm sending you all these parts and pieces. Now, if you don't like chocolate foil bunny, you think that's just too crazy, you can certainly just use the full bunny on your card and create a card that looks just like this. Right? So you don't have to use, you don't have to make chocolate foil bunny, but I love chocolate, and that's where my mind always goes. So you're also going to get these really fancy, look how cute these are, right? These are the fancy little ornate, they're the Elegant Borders dies. This is from the online exclusives. So the Elegant Borders dies is something new, and I grabbed out this one. So there's a set of 4 here. So I grabbed out this die, and I actually die cut these for you. So I've just taken the piece of white cardstock and I lined them up just right, and I've cut them down. So I cut them down for you. So you're going to get these already ready to go. You don't even have to die cut these, which is fantastic. And surprise, this says on the outside, an Easter treat for you. The inside of this card is actually like a really simple gift card holder. So here is a little pocket on the inside. This is one of those little fake credit cards, right? So you have a little pocket on the inside. You can put a little gift card, some cash, you know, what have you. Now, you don't have to create this pocket if you don't want to. You'll have extra white paper and extra polka dot paper, but I did make this into like a little treat holder, and I thought that was just kind of a cute way to use the sentiment, an Easter treat for you. So these are all your parts and pieces. So you're going to have some cardstock that's going to go on the front, and you're going to have pieces for your pocket on the inside. And let me just separate these out because I'm going to do one card with you right now so you can see how this goes together. And then when you get your card kits in the mail, you can use this video as your how to assemble and get this put together. So let's talk about this really awesome little paper first and the background stamping we're going to do here. So I have this is Fresh Freesia. This is an in color that's retiring, and if you don't have this yet, you definitely want to jump on that as soon as possible. Next week, the retired list comes out, and everything's going to be flying off the shelves, Fresh Freesia included. So for this one, I took the sentiment, an Easter treat for you, and I stamped it across here. And what I did to help me out, I used a little bit of this masking paper, and this is like giant Post-it note. This is actually something that Stampin' Up sells. I have used it to mask before. You can mask so that you can stamp around and over it. And you can reuse these. They're really great papers. You can see they get super curly. But I use this because I wanted to just create some straight border lines. Not that I'm stamping on it, but it's kind of helping me to know where I'm going to line some stuff up. So I'm just lining up some strips of this. You can do the same, or you can choose to just not even worry about this. But I felt like this was just a nice way to block off parts of this piece of white. So I'm going to just stamp right inside. And you can kind of see from my finished sample here, I had a really tight set of these little sentiment that go across there. So I'm just going to go ahead and start stamping an Easter treat for you. And I want one that you can really see all the way, you know, like most of it. And then the rest of them, I'm just going to kind of fill in an Easter treat for you using some different, you know, maybe there's a few here, a few there. I think I went, probably went a little bit more high on my, I might actually drop this down a little bit. I feel like I've only got 2 rows in here. On this one I got 3 in. Let's see if I drop it down to about here, I can get another row in. And again, this masking paper is really just to help me line things up. And you saw how nicely it peels off so awesomely. And I'm trying to not stamp on the masking paper because I really do want my sentiments to be seen. So we're just going to stamp a couple more of these across here. I might just stamp like Anne over here. So there we go, just like that. So that's just an easy way to kind of create that little bit of a background. So again, they just peel off, they curl up like crazy, but they're completely reusable, and they're like better than Post-it notes. They're better than masking tape. I love this masking paper, is awesome. I don't use it as much as I should, but it's nice and clean now at the top too. So that's just a really fabulous little thing. All right, let's do some more stamping because we're going to stamp these flowers here along the top. And this class is going to be a little bit heavy on the coloring. So we're going to do some coloring. So I'm going to bring in my Memento ink and my little flower stamp. Now, this is made up of actually 3 flowers that I'm going to stamp across the top. And I want to show you that of course, I play a little bit here. So when you're stamping them, I'm going to stamp the middle one first. And then I'm going to line up the other 2, and it's really easy to get crooked. So this one right here, I've got the leaves kind of at the top, and this third one, it comes down a little bit lower. Actually, I stamped this twice. This one's a really bad example. So sometimes it's best to practice off of your paper, and then by the time you got the hang of it, you can get that right across the top there, and it just looks really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just focus on this top leaf and kind of like the top of my paper in the middle. And the next one here, I'm going to just put, and again, I'm kind of focusing on where my top leaf is going. And we're going to do one more over here on this end, and we'll see how we do. And that's pretty good. I'm not too bad with that one. So there I've got the 3 across the top. It just creates a nice little border. We did that in Memento ink, and we're going to color these in with some Stampin' Blends. So I have the also retiring soft succulent. When you're picking up your retiring ink colors, don't forget to get your blends, your markers and ink pads and refills, all that good stuff. We're going to start with the dark, and I always use the smaller tip, and we're going to just do these little tiny, anything that looks small for the leaves, I'm doing in the dark green. And I'm just going to just add this on really quickly. I'm just going to dot these in color as we go. See if I missed anything. And then I'm going to come in with the light soft succulent, and I'm going to do the bigger leaves here. And I'm just doing this, just really simple coloring. So just right on top of the leaves. I'm not getting fancy by adding tone on tone. We're going to do some of that later on with our bunnies to give our bunnies more definition and shade. This is just really kind of simple coloring. So just these leaves, there's 3 big ones for each flower set. So I'm just going to go ahead and color those in with green. I'm going to bring in the dark daffodil, and I'm just going to do the centers here of the daisy looking flowers. I'm actually leaving the rest of the daisies white, so that kind of just helps to pop that a little bit. Oh yeah, and centers of basically any centers of the flowers, they're getting a little bit of yellow. I think I even added it to these guys. Just a dot, that's all you need. All right, then for the rest of the flowers, we're working on Fresh Freesia, which is our color here. So I'm going to do the light one, and I'm going to color in these big flowers. So we got 3 big flowers. And this is just, again, quick coloring. You don't have to be too crazy. And then I'm going to come in and do the dark fresh freesia. And I'm going to, oh, I see that I missed a leaf too. I'm going to go back and catch that leaf again. So these like little 5-point flowers. I also missed some yellow right there. I'm coloring from a farther distance out than I normally color because you don't need to see my head in the camera. So I'm coloring from farther away, and I'm actually coloring standing up, which I might sit down when I do my bunnies because I feel like I color better when I sit. I do a lot of stamping while I'm standing, but coloring is something that I feel like I need to do sitting down. And I missed this one right here. I'm going to come back and catch him real quick. All right, and I missed this one. Quality control here on the coloring, right? All right, so there we go. So we left some of the flowers white, and we colored green and purple, and it's just really pretty. And we're just going to add this to the top of this this white paper, and it just kind of gives us this nice little bordered look to the top. There's a lot of fancy stuff going on the bottom of this card, so I wanted the top to have something pretty too. So we're just going to put this onto the top here. And of course, this kind of could go either way. You could definitely have the leaves facing up or the leaves facing down. They could go this way too if you wanted them to. So there's that part. So we're going to bring in our card base, and we are going to bring in our bigger piece of this. So you're going to have two pieces of this designer paper. The smaller one's going to go on the inside pocket. This bigger one is going to come on the outside here. So we can just put this down here flat on the bottom. So make sure you know which side your card is going to open up. That's always important. And we're going to put this down just kind of like it's a matted layer, really. And then this layer we're going to put on with some dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a bunch of these on. And I do have a new sheet of dimensionals. I'm really excited about that. It's kind of like when you remember when you were a kid and you went to school and you got like new crayons or something like for school? I have a new sheet of dimensionals, and I gotta tell you, that kind of excited me to be able to get a new one out. I was using up all the ends, and I was being very generous with my ends last week because I was trying to get to the point where I could get out a new sheet, a new pack. All right, so you can see from my sample here that we're going to just, this piece right here, the white, is 4 inches wide, just like this piece. So we're basically layering this on as though it were a matted piece, and we're gonna start at the top and make sure it's pretty even side to side, and then we're going to put it on just like that. Isn't that pretty? It's just so elegant, right? Now you could stop right now and you could put a flower on here and it would be beautiful. You don't have to use bunny if you don't want to. I just happen to think bunny is kind of cute. Now to make bunny have some little holes in him, little bite holes, I actually just grabbed a small hole punch. You can use whatever. You can use your scissors if you want. I think I'm going to cut some holes out of his ears this time though. Some bites out of his ears and maybe one out of his nose. He's going to get chopped up a little bit more. So here's my little bunny with his little bites out of him. He's kind of cute. Almost looks like he's got like a little slope nose now. I like that. All right, we have the foil. The foil has to go down so that it can crinkle up, just like this card. You can see how crinkly it's going to get. And we're going to put this on with some tear and tape. Foil is not the easiest thing to glue down, so we're just going to put some tear and tape here on our bunny. And we're going to peel this off, and we're going to put down our foil. So again, this is all, subject to your like of my card design. I'm like, I don't know if you guys think this is genius or it's crazy, but I am going to line it up. I'm kind of lining him up. So this is actually the shape of this little bunny here. And I'm just going to kind of crinkle this down a little bit, right? And I'm going to leave that just kind of like that. So he's crinkled down like he's being pulled down to be eaten, right? And I'm going to grab out this. Now on this one, I trimmed with my scissors and I thought, wow, that's a really neat line. Maybe I'm going to try ripping it a little bit. Like when you're eating chocolate and you're getting into a candy bar, right? You're going to rip it. So maybe we need to rip that. And I think I like that a little bit better. Sometimes in the midst of my card making, I change my mind and I try some different things. We're going to actually, instead of putting this on the foil, we're going to put the tape this time on the back of the bunny paper, because this is going to be a lot easier to put down and take off of here than it would be if we were trying to peel this off of the foil. Probably would help if I laid it down flat. Get a little pokey tool underneath there so you can peel your tape back. Look, I still have bunny head left over. You can always do something with all the scraps, right? So we're going to just go ahead and line this up right here underneath, and you can roll your foil back up because you want to be able to roll it down over top of this paper, and you can kind of crinkle it up and have some fun with that too, right? So here's my little bunny. So cute. Now he's going to go on here also with some dimensionals. So we can get some dimensionals on here. I kind of took the back off of that one as I grabbed it out. So this is my chocolate bunny. He is an early espresso because that's like the deepest chocolate that we have right now. And here he goes. He's going to come on here just like that. How cute is that? Just a little chocolate bunny and a little chocolate. I just love chocolate, so I'm thinking it's cute. I'm not sure if you guys think this is cute or crazy. All right, let's talk about the gift card part, right? So to create the gift card, we're going to open this up, and this is going to come right now. So this is white on white, so it might be really hard to see, but we're going to put this right here at the bottom. And when you put this in, you're either going to use some tear and tape or your adhesive, and you're just going to do 3 edges, right? You want the bottom and the 2 sides. You need the pocket to stay open so you can slide in your gift card. So from here, we're just going to put this to the bottom, and we're going to just snug this in here just like that. So we can see that, right? This is going to still stay open right here, so we can put our gift card in. And then we're just going to put this on top to make it match the front. And that is just the easiest way to create a really quick gift card holder. I mean, there are some really fancy ways. There's dies and there's all kinds of fun folds. But if you want to create a really simple gift card pocket, you can do this just this easy, right? Just that easy. So this has to dry a little bit though too before it's going to be ready to play with it too much. Now let's talk about some gems, because these colors are fantastic. We have white fresh freesia, so this is obviously kind of a tone-on-tone embellishment right here. And then going to try the white ones on this one. The next color is Melon Mambo, and then we have Gorgeous Grape. So I think I'm going to try the white ones on here this time instead of the tone-on-tone. And they probably will show up a little bit nicer, although the tone-on-tone is nice too. So here's a look at card number 1, Easter Bunny Treats. Isn't that cute? I love it. I think it's super cute. All right, let me clean up my mess here for just a second. We'll get rid of our scraps and our background papers and some things that we don't need. And we will be moving on to card number 2. I'm just going to check messages really quickly. Hi, Linda. Hi, Sandra, and Jess, Connie, Mary. Okay, Lori. Right up my alley. Lori knows me so well. Yes, chocolate bunny. All right, we're going to move chocolate bunny aside, and we're going to bring in card number 2. And this one, oh my gosh, this one is the cutest bunny. I adore this bunny. Let me bring in some more markers. We're going to be using some different colors this time to get this guy taken care of. Make sure I have the right ones here. We're going to need this one too. So we're talking a new set of blends. We've got this really great card kit with Melon Mambo. Melon Mambo is a great color, right? And we're also using the Hues of Happiness designer paper because it's really happy, right? So again, we've got 2 card bases, 2 envelopes, and I should have a card base here somewhere. There we go. And get that out. And you're going to be getting all of these strips of designer series paper. We only need one for each card. So I'm going to grab that out. I'm using the double oval punch on this one. Fabulous frames. This is really fun. We're going to talk about this one for a second too. So you're going to be getting some frames here, and then we're going to have some more Melon Mambo, because I like to add a lot of paper, a lot of product to my card kits. I think it just makes it more valuable, right? So let's shift on to the fabulous frames. And you may not have seen these. These are actually in the annual catalog. They are not part of a bundle, but they create frames, and I love frames. I actually haven't played with these yet. I'm really excited to. So I used this one right here, this die, to create this fabulous frame for our bunny. And when you die cut it, it comes out in 2 pieces. You're going to get this piece, and you're going to get this piece die cut at the same time. So it's very similar to the framed florets, which we're going to be using on our last card, where you get the outline and then you get the inside. Now obviously for our bunny, we need a white frame for the inside. But I am sending you the pink frame as well, and I'm going to show you why. So there's methods, always methods to the madness. Let's do the easy part first. Let's do some base assembly. So we've got our card base, and we've got some Melon Mambo, and this is meant to layer on top of this, but it's meant to layer on top of this so that you can easily place your designer series paper onto your card base without, you know, without too much struggle, right? So with your card strips, they're gonna fit full across, and you're just gonna basically figure out how you want them to go. Do you want the purple, you know, like you can mix them up. So right, I have the yellow at the top, and then, you know, kind of going on this way. So this is like a whole nice strip of this designer paper. So we're just gonna start laying them down. Now, one of your designer papers may be a little bit long, and it's going to need to be trimmed. And the reason why is this was actually, these 3 strips made up 12 inches of paper. So you know 12 by 12 paper is 12 inches, right? And when you cut them, and I don't know if you noticed this before, but when you cut them, there's always like one that's like just a little over. And I think it's because of the way that the ruler or the trimmer will cut. So I cut them 4 inches, 4 inches, and whatever I had left over is 4 inches. But you can see it's a little bit, it's like 1/8 of an inch longer. So really all you need to do, flip your paper over. So obviously line it up on one side, flip your paper over so you can see the overhang, and then you're just going to trim this down. And it's just that easy to take off that little tiny sliver, right? That is just really hard to get into your paper trimmer. So once you have all these pretty fancy things glued on, or it taped on, you can go ahead and add this on to your card base, and it helps to pop that designer paper up, gives it a little thickness, and that pink just kind of blends right in. But so it's like the look of dimension without using dimensionals, right? So it's kind of like faux dimensionals. It's going to help to make our card not so thick. Now when we do our frame, we're going to be stamping on this and coloring this guy in, but we are going to put our frame on here. So we're going to put the frame part on first. And again, this has some very delicate sides. It's got some really great top and bottom that will accept some adhesive. And when you do the sides, you're just going to have to be very, very careful to not go so crazy with the glue that you just have enough on there that's going to work. And I like to make sure that I leave at least a few spots where I can manipulate the frame that doesn't have glue on it, to try to keep some of the glue off my fingers. And we're just going to put this down here, and we're going to just kind of press gently, and if all else fails, go from the back, and there she be, real nice. Now we're going to actually glue this Melon Mambo that came out of the original frame. We're going to glue this back in here. And the reason I'm doing this is that when we put our little bunny piece on top, it's also going to give the bunny a little bit more presence, because he's going to be a little bit taller than the pink frame. So it's going to lift the bunny up without using the dimensional. So all we have left is some stamping and some coloring. Like, how easy is that, right? We have a card here that is not an Easter card. Do you see that? You're a friend like no other. This could be a birthday card. This could be just a thinking of you, a hello card, right? This is not necessarily an Easter card, but he's the cutest bunny. I really like this bunny. We got the butterfly, we have the sentiment, and we have some grass. So we're stamping everything in the Memento ink before we do a little bit of coloring. So let's do our sentiment here on this oval. You're a friend like no other. And we're going to see if we can get this on one side. And if we can't get it on one side, we're going to use the other one. There we go. I smudged a little bit right there. Maybe, I must have an ink on my finger. We're going to try one more time because we can. And if I don't like this side, we're just going to go with the first side. I think I like that one better. No smudges. There's a tiny smudge there. Okay, so we're good there. We're going to set that aside. Let's bring in our bunny piece. And I'm going to show you, this was my sample bunny piece that I did some stamping on, because once we put the friend on here, you're going to see that we covered up a little bit of where the grass and the toes are. So it's kind of a jumble there, and we covered that up with our sentiment. So we cover him up a little bit, but this gives me an extra sample to look at while I am working on this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put Bunny down. This bunny is so cute. I think this is my favorite bunny of the 3 bunnies in the stamp set. And we're going to put him pretty much in the middle. And he should stamp down here really nicely. So there's little bunny right there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the grass in, and I'm going to put the grass kind of just enough here onto his body. And then over here I am going to kind of snug him like from his toes over. I found that we want to keep more of his body toward the bottom there so that it's not kind of covering him up too much. And then of course we have this little sideways butterfly. So cute, so cute. And you're going to want to just be really careful to try to line up the arc of the butterfly with the bunny's nose as best you can. So these, again, they're see-through. And little, I just think this is adorable. So little bunny's just looking up there, right there, getting a butterfly kiss right there, right? All right, memento is done. Let me cover this up, and we're going to do some coloring. So this is where we're going to really talk about best ways to color with our Stampin' Blends. Now, of course, I'm just using one color of the Granny Apple Dark, and I'm just doing the blades of grass. So that's the simple part. I always like to start simple, because when you see that you've got something done and it was easy, it gives you that great impetus, really, to just kind of keep going, right? You're like, oh, I did that. I can do the next thing. I know that I can do the next thing. So there we go. Grass, colored and done, right? All right, I'm going to pull in my chair. I'm going to do some sitting. So you may hear my chair coming over here to sit for a minute. All right, so bunny, this bunny is done in the grays, and I brought out the smoky slate. We have the dark and we have the light. So I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to use the small tip here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scribble some gray right here where this bunny had some little black lines already. And then I'm going to come up and around his ear, and this is all in dark gray. And I'm going to outline him. I'm going to come around, I'm going to do his paws, and I'm just going to follow, if there's some dark lines on the bunny, I'm just kind of following his far back leg is definitely going to be all gray. And I'm going to just kind of come up, and I'm going to actually come up and around the grass, and I'm going to do his tail, and then I'm going to come around the back side of the bunny. So I'm outlining him in the dark color, and I'm kind of outlining his ears. So you can see that I've got a really great outline here on the bunny. I might actually kind of do like maybe where his whiskers are too. And then I'm just going to deepen that just a little bit, and I'm going to kind of squiggle it. I'm making some lines that aren't straight lines. I don't really want straight, smooth lines. I want them to kind of be crooked and jagged a little bit, right? To kind of give it like a furry kind of a look. So you can maybe see there's some like squigglies in there, right? A little bit of squigglies. You can see where the darker, where I overlapped it, is a little bit darker again. Now we're going to come in with the gray, the light gray, and we're going to just very lightly do his ear. I'm not even trying to do his entire ear. I'm actually leaving a little bit of that kind of in the white color. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just kind of bring in some gray here and bring this up and around wherever I haven't done anything. And I'm not coming too close to his eye. I'm going to actually leave some white around his eye. So if you can see this, I didn't color his eye all the way up to his eye. I left some white spots. And the white spots really are kind of the key here to give a little bit of extra light to parts of this little bunny. Give him some extra texture. So I'm just going to kind of scribble along where I have met the dark lines here with the light ones. And again, I'm not going really like super crazy. I'm just going to scribble along a little bit. Not in a really any kind of a pattern. Right? And I'm going to leave a few spots on here that are white. Now when we look at this, we can still see a really harsh dark line, and a lot of the inside is like really light in color. So I'm just going to go over where the dark line and the light line, again, where they meet. And I'm just blending. That's the whole purpose of these blends. If you're trying to get tones and colors, is to continuously blend until the lines kind of disappear, and then you just have what looks like some white and some dark, and you do want to see a few lines. So I think as you see, like every time I lift it up, it looks a little bit different. So the dark lines kind of it's kind of disintegrated. The color is like really kind of washed in there, and that just gives him like a little bit of interest, right? So you can continue to go over. This is what I love about the blends. You can go over and over these areas and it does not pill up, which is it does kind of bleed through the back, but it does not pill up like the markers do. If you went over and over an area with the markers, it would pill up, and that just is a little bit frustrating. All right, this is the light petal pink, and I'm just doing the top of the inside of the ear. I'm leaving some white there, and I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of his belly, but I'm not going to do all of his belly. Again, I'm leaving a little bit of white. So that is how we color up the bunny. Now, when this dries, it will look a little bit different too, but that's kind of a good look at how I colored my little bunny. So then I'm going to bring in yellow here. This again is the dark daffodil, and I'm doing the little dots here on my butterfly. And I'm bringing in the dark melon mambo because I wanted the butterfly to be pretty dark. And again, this is just simple coloring. So this time I'm not blending anything. I'm just using one blender pen, and I'm just getting one color of the ink. And especially when you're doing small areas, like it'd be really hard to get two colors in there and try to blend them together. So there we have my little guy, and you can see the difference in the butter. Like this is dry, and this is what it looks like when we first do the coloring. So it will, just like when we use our ink, it does lighten up a little bit with time. So we are good to go. We're gonna get this guy down here, and that didn't take too long, I don't think. Hopefully you weren't too bored watching me color. But and I don't color a lot. I don't grab out my blends a lot and color because I like to stamp and go. So I love the two-step stamping. I like the quick and easy type of which I was gonna use this one as I'm talking. I'm like, which one did I want to put down? So I like very quick and easy stamping, and kind of just assemble, go, make a beautiful card, and then make another card, right? I know like some people think that coloring is just like the greatest thing in the world. They love to color. So I don't do a lot of it, but when I do, I'm always like, wow, that was so awesome. I loved it. So we're gonna put this sentiment on with some dimensionals again, and it's going to cover up a little bit of his foot. It's going to come down. I'm trying to keep it kind of cute, like, right? So his little paw comes down, and the little sign is like right there. So I thought that was kind of cute, like he's almost holding the sign a little bit. Let me see if I can line him up here. There we go. You're a friend like no other. I just love that one. Now for this one, I used the white adhesives here. But again, now this is Melon Mambo, so I'm going to see what the Melon Mambo looks like on Melon Mambo. So we're going to do tone on tone for this one. So I like to mix things up a little bit. So I'm just using some of this little, there's like little grid in here. It's like little indented embossed pieces in here. It's probably hard to see on camera, but there are some like little scrolls in here. And I just wanted to try the Melon Mambo on here. So I'm using where the scrolls are to kind of find the placement for my little embellishments here. And it's nice that these have a mix of 3 sizes. So there's a tiny little size, and then a medium size, and then the larger size. So there we go. Here's card number 2, and we have kind of the tone on tone gems and the white ones. But super cute. So it's just a really cute little bunny, isn't he? I love this bunny card. All right, so that is card number 2. Let me clean up here for just a second, and then we're going to move on to our 3rd and final card. You see how we're doing. Make sure we're still good. Okay. Oh, I see Rhonda. Rhonda has the frame dies. Okay, cool. They are really awesome. I love a good frame die because obviously you can frame your work and it just looks so amazing, right? I love the frames. Similar to the last card, we're using those framed floret dies, right? So these have been out for a while. They are, again, they're in the mini catalog, the framed florets. And it's the same concept. When I die cut this oval, it die cuts the outside, and then the inside is separate. So same thing, right? So using frames for any of your images is just a really great way to get the attention right to where you want it on your card front. So this last card that we're doing has the framed florets in it, and it also has an embossing folder. This is the quarterfoil tile. I have a hard time saying that one, but this one has a little bit of embossing in it, which is just really rich. This is a nice purpley card as well. But this time we're going to do the bunny in some browns. So I thought I'd bring in some Sahara sand kind of to complement my gorgeous grape. Now I picked the colors for tonight's class based on these embellishments, because these embellishments are getting used for each card. So I wanted to make sure that they complemented the cards as well. Which is always nice to be able to coordinate so nicely. Stampin' Up! Gives us that ability to just kind of coordinate all the time. So let's bring in our final card kit. This is the gorgeous grape. And this is everything that you're going to be getting. You're going to get 2 card bases, 2 envelopes, all the parts and pieces. And you're going to get some, so we're also using Highland Heather, and this is the Sahara Sand Designer Series paper. It is 2-sided, of course, so if you decide, maybe I might decide to use the polka dots. You are getting the frames, you're getting the Highland Heather outline, and then we're going to stamp our bunny on the white. And you're going to be getting 2 of these sprigs. So this is not part of the bunny bundle, right? So I always die cut out and emboss anything that's not part of the bundle. So you're getting these in soft sea foam, which is a great color. And I like this layout. This is a very simple layout, but it's just really it's pleasing to the eye, and it's also it gives you just enough texture and layer on your card front. So definitely think about this one for anything. Now you're also getting this cute little punched piece. This is for the sentiment. And earlier I talked about using the Happy Labels punch. This is the punch. It's one of those pick-a-punch sizes, right? So I know the glare is terrible right here, but there's channels right here, so you can do 3 different sizes. This is the 1/2-inch size, so it's the smallest size that will fit in here. And then you can go to 3/4 and I think 1 inch are the 3 sizes that you can use. So you're basically picking a size, and then you've also got on the outside, you've got 2 different types of tags. So that's the Happy Labels, and I punched that for you. So you're getting a couple of pieces for your sentiment here. And I think I have everything else, so we can start putting together our final card. All right, card base. Purple, please. Isn't purple awesome? Perfect for Easter, right? And again, this is not an Easter card. This one says enjoy all the little moments. So this doesn't say anything about Easter. This is just a bunny card. It could be a friend card. It could be a birthday card. It could be a new baby card. And I love that this is versatile beyond Easter. And I think a lot of people look at this set and go, oh, it's an Easter set. It's for Easter cards, and it does have Easter sentiments in it, which is they're nice, right? Nice Easter sentiment. It's got a great Happy Easter, and it's got the Easter treat one, so it has some sentiments for Easter. But again, those bunnies, they can be used year-round for all kinds of good stuff. So I'm just going to do some layering here. Love the layering. So we're going to do Sahara Sand, then we're doing our embossed piece here. So we're getting our little matted look. Love the colors together. I think last week I also worked on some soft suede and some Blackberry Bliss Rich Raspberry. I love the browns and purples together. Those are so fantastic. All right, so these, again, they're just squares. They're just coming on here. Bring the card back in so you can see. They're coming on here for some interest because we have the oval focal piece. So we've got a lot of rectangles. So we're just building up our rectangles behind. So basically, these are going to come on here just like this. They're layered fantastically, right? And if we wanted to go with polka dots, we could do, I mean, you could do one of each really if you wanted to, right? We could do polka dots on them. I really like the plaid. I think it's a little bit lighter and it looks really nice. So this is the bones of your card right here. So I'm just going to pop this on here really quickly. The frame's going to go on here just like this, right? And this doesn't even have to be an Easter card. If you didn't want to stamp a bunny on here, you could stamp something else. But this is, you know, card kits, so universal. And we're going to continue to glue. I'm going to keep the plaid side up. It has lighter tones in it, and I do like the lighter tones, so I'm just going to glue these together quickly. And then we can put them on our, I mean, so fantastic. I like that when you get these card kits in the mail, you already have the design done, check. Papers cut, check. You don't have to cut. Some of this is die cut and punched and embossed. You don't have to do any of that. You are just assembling, doing a little bit of stamping, and it's just like instant gratification. You don't have to worry about pulling out colors and matching them. I'm doing all the hard parts for you. And if you love to do all the hard parts, you're getting some great design ideas that you can just pull out your parts and kind of create at home too. And that's the fun part about the class. Like, no matter what you take away from it, you do take away something. So here it is, our great layout. Love this. All right, we are going to be putting that down, and I think we can just go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and do that because really after that we're just going to stamp our bunny in color. We're going to do some more coloring. So again, we're going to be just kind of easy on the glue here because this little edging here on this die does have kind of some peephole type tendencies, and if you go too heavy on the glue, it's going to ooze right out. So you don't want to be too crazy, but just like that, it will glue down there. Even though we've got a lot of layers, it will glue, and it doesn't look like it's all, you know, kind of wonky. So we've got that and that. We're going to stamp our sentiment. Enjoy the little moments. So here is that. We are actually using Highland Heather on this one, so different tones of purple. So the Fresh Freesia we use on the first has more of a pink tendency. The Highland Heather is really more of a blue purple, so different colors of purple. I know I have some purple fans watching, and purple is awesome, but there are different tones, and that's always nice too. So this one has Enjoy the Little Moments. I'm going to stamp this quite close to the little tag that's punched, and that's kind of crooked, so we're going to flip it immediately, and we're going to do it again. And we're going to see if this one's also crooked. Then we decide which crooked looks better to us. This one does. Okay, we're going with this one. Now on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and snip a whole bunch of that off. I just need that little bit. And the less white you see, by making it smaller, the less crooked it's going to look. So that, again, another little tip, right? Take a bunch of the white off, and it's not going to look as crooked. So let's put this purple away, and we're going to bring in, again, our Memento ink. And on our other bunny, this is another bunny in the set, and we're going to color him in too. So let's get him inked up. The Memento ink, nice and dark. You want a nice dark bunny, right? So you can color. We're going to center him right in this oval. He fits here really nicely. Cover this up so that when I pull my paper off, I don't drop it in my ink. And there he is, just a cute little bunny, right? And now we get down to some more coloring. So let me bring in the next colors we're going to use. Now this guy is going to be colored in with some crumb. We're still going to use the petal on him. And I'm looking, and yeah, that's it. 3 colors. We are not adding butterflies or birds or anything crazy. We're just going to color this guy up. And it's going to be, again, very similar. We're going to start with the dark crumb. And we're going to go right around his ear, all dark. And we're going to do down, you know, on his head, we're going to do some outlines here, right? So again, his ear, doing his ear dark, kind of coming down and around, all of the outline of his body. And this is not, the nice part is, like, you can just do a little bit at a time, and you can come back and add more color in too. Just a little bit where he's sitting there. And I did, let's see, we're going to outline his feet here a little bit. I feel like I just enjoyed working with the grays a little bit more than I am with the browns. I think the browns are just a little bit harder to work with. And it might be just because they have a darker color to them. Where the grays are like a little bit lighter, so they're a little bit more forgiving in color. So I'm just going to come back through here and just kind of squiggle in a little bit more brown. But so he's outlined pretty good in the brown. And now we're going to bring in the light color. And we're going to bring some color into him, just kind of around and all of his little parts that we haven't colored in yet. Again, I'm going to leave a little bit around his eyes that's not colored at all. Just kind of mix this in here. And this is where you just color and then you color over top. So there's a little bit of coloring and then coloring and then coloring going on here. Just until you get enough blended in. So just, you can see the first layer of the light leaves really distinct lines that are, like, you can tell dark and light, like really dark and light. So we're just going to continue to bring this down. So I'm going to bring this down onto his, kind of onto his nose. So I'm kind of almost creating like a little triangle here from the top of his head here, where I have the dark, which the dark was right here, and kind of bringing a triangle down here right to his nose and leaving everything else kind of just not inked up at all. I'm just going to add a little bit of ink there on there. So it kind of gives him like a little bit of a distinction. You can kind of see it on here, right? Where his eyes have a little bit of light around him. And you just have to decide how far down his face comes before his belly starts. And we're going to go ahead and soften in his arms and his body here because there are some harsh lines going on here still. So we're just going to continue to just move this light color and a squiggly line all around and try to like soften those darker lines. There. And then when you're happy, you can stop adding color and we can do his belly next. So his little belly. Now when I did his belly, I didn't do the whole belly. So I don't know if you can tell right here, I just did the outside and kind of came down around this way and just a little bit on the other side too. So I actually left quite a bit of it white. I didn't do like the whole thing. But I did do like a thicker line on the left side and a thinner line on the right side. So here is my little bunny, and of course his ears need to be done too, right? So we're going to add a little bit. Again, I'm leaving a little bit of, I'm not doing a ton of color. A little bit of white in there is always good. And then his little pads on his feet, I'm going to just kind of bring this petal color in and add that little bit of lightness right there. And he's done. He is done. Just like that. And he's just a cute little bunny, right? He's all colored in with, and this is Stampin' Blend coloring, right? So you're using, when you use your blends, you're going to use, the nice part is that the blends come in two, you get a 2-pack. You get a light and a dark of the same color. So it's the same tone, you get a light and a dark so that you can use them to create the look where it's blended together. And again, it goes through the back a little bit, so I always use the protective coating, but it's just a really nice way to color, and I love using the blends. I feel like they color so much easier than the markers do. I like the markers for red rubber coloring on the red rubber stamps, but these little blends, I'm just like, I love them. They put down some nice color. So here's my little guy right here. He's almost done. We're going to glue this on up and around so that gives him a little bit of extra interest, right? I like to add sprigs and fun things to my cards. You don't want to keep it too quiet and bare, right? So I'm just kind of putting this down a little bit on the back of this, just along the stem. And again, leaving some room that I can hold on to it. He's just going to come up here right along this frame, just a nice little sweeping little bit of greenery, and it's this nice soft color, so it's not harsh, right? It's just, you can see it, but it's not competing with the rest of, oh my goodness, look at this. Enjoy. This is like almost cut perfectly. I'm like, which side did I want to show? I think I want this one to show. We're going to put dimensionals on this. That is just too funny that both of those are like lined up that way. The green, yes, the green is just a nice little light color. It goes really well with the Sahara. It kind of blends in, but it is green, so you can still see the green. That's where I was going with that. We're going to put this little sentiment here. So kind of like where he's sitting, we're going to kind of line that up here. We're going to put part of it on the green. We're going to bring part of this across here to over top of the purple. And that's going to give us this nice little look. Now, I meant to show you and I didn't do it. I don't know if I can get this off of here. Let's see if I can undo for a second. I meant to show you sometimes, and this is a good example, peeling this off very carefully because I don't want to have to do it again. Peeling off very carefully. I did that. Like, that's exciting, right? Now if I can get that to stay. Sometimes when you put dimensionals down and you've got a higher layer and you're landing on a lower layer, we're going to actually use this little bit of paper that I cut off. Once again, I'm like, what side did I put down? Oh my goodness. We're going to put down this side. Okay, so I'm going to snip a little tiny bit and trim this up. I'm going to snip some white paper and I'm actually going to glue it onto the back where the dimensional is going to be low. So right over here, the dimensional is a little bit lower because it doesn't, on one end, right? Because it doesn't have all of the layers on the other end. I hope I'm making sense tonight. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. What I'm trying to say is this layer over here has the frame and this layer over here does not have the frame. So I just added 2 pieces of tiny little bit of white cardstock. And when I put this dimensional on, now it's going to be higher. It's going to be 2 more thicknesses high, so that when I put it over here and I put this one over here, they won't have that wobble. I don't like that wobble where you put something on and it feels like it's the other end it's not like straight across. Now it should be more straight across. So that is the trick that another trick I want to show you. I love to do that. I love to just grab some little scraps. And I do that a lot because I do a lot of layering and I always have, you know, highs and lows. And if I add dimensionals in and they're not on an even playing field, then they definitely need a little help. All right, so we have time to do our embellishments. So on this card, I did the Gorgeous Grape on Gorgeous Grape, so that again, they're kind of tone on tone. So since we've been mixing it up all night, let's mix it up a little bit more. And let's bring in, even though Fresh Freesia isn't the same as Highland Heather. So this is actually going to be like 3 purples deep on one card. We're going to put this up here and just see if we like these a little bit better. And chasing some embellishments around here. So there we go. So we've got the light color purple and the dark color purple embellishments. So pretty, right? And that is just how easy it is to make these really cute, really cute bunny cards. Didn't take us much time at all. Let's bring them all in real quickly again and see how much fun are all these little bunny cards, right? Oh my goodness. Purple bunnies, pink bunnies, chocolate bunnies. I love the bunnies, and I would love to know which bunny is your favorite bunny. Let me pop over to Hi from the Coast. You finally make it. Looks like you have to be checking out replay. Yes, you have to check out replay. These bunny cards are so cute. And I forgot to transition to me. Hi. So I transitioned to me, and now I'm looking at comments. So awesome. So thanks, Patty. I love these cards. I think they're really cute cards for 2 reasons. Bunnies and pinks and purples. I don't think you can go wrong with a pink and purple card. They're just fun and they're just playful. And the bunnies are, so Patty likes the purple one. The dark purple one, Lori likes the last one. Oh, that's awesome. You know, sometimes I feel like I save the best for last because you guys are always like, the last one was the best one. And I don't necessarily do it on purpose. To be honest, I actually usually present the cards in the order that I create them as I'm designing them. So I'm designing these cards, try to not look at so many other people's images so that I'm not too swayed by what other people are doing. And so I sit and design them, and I actually design them like one at a time. And I write down all my dimensions because I'm giving you card recipes. And when I come on live, I tend to just I give them to you in the order I designed them, and I don't know why, but it's stuck in my head to do it that way, and that's what I do. So that is our card class. So thank you so much for joining me for this little bunny card class. It's so awesome. We did a nice hour together, which is amazing. So thank you so much for spending some time with me, checking out my bunny cards. If you would like these bunny card kits, you know what to do, right? You place your order. $35 minimum order is going to get you the 6 card kits. And a $50 minimum order is going to get you the card kits plus the embellishments for free. So I have a host code for that. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Again, the bunny punch, the Easter bunny punch, is on back order. You can get the stamp set if you need to. I know there's a few girls out here that have this whole bundle. So you really have everything. All you need is the card kits, right? Order yourself some ink, order yourself some adhesives, order yourself some, whatever you want, right? Place a small order, get the card kits. You have the bunny stamp set and the punch at home. You can create 6 fantastic cards in no time at all, as you can see. Feel free to change them up. I would love to know what you're thinking. If you're going to change some of these up or not. Rhonda loves the bunny cards. They're so cute. And remember, Easter bunny cards are not just for Easter. These are bunny cards too. So that's it for me. Thank you so much again. I will be back on Thursday at 3 for another great card, and I will check out your comments and reply as needed. All right, everybody, that's it. That's all I got. So until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye.